Kabul dusty streets have witnessed 20 years of war turning infrastructure to ashes. In the midst of these ruins, gleaming white buses stamped with the Dongfeng logo now roll by symbols of hope in a land familiar with despair. This is just the beginning. Soon these buses will be made right here, promised Chinese officials at the opening ceremony. An Afghan man looks on and says, "Finally some good news. Maybe our children have a future." But what if these wheels of progress are rolling toward new dependency? $50 million of strategic investment. A major gamble. Is Dongfeng China auto giant here to rescue Afghanistan or to claim its trillion-dollar fortunes? Dongfeng is a massive Chinese company with 165,000 employees and annual revenues of $101 billion. Now, this Asian giant turns to one of the world's poorest nations with practically no industrial infrastructure. In Kabul, senior Dongfeng officials and Afghan ministers signed an agreement that could determine the country's fate, a $50 million investment to build Afghanistan's first modern car factory. This project will unfold in 4 phases over 3.5 years. The ambitious goal: produce 200,000 vehicles a year. Passenger cars, ambulances, buses, and trucks. For a country of 40 million, those are lofty numbers. What are the economic promises? First, job creation. In the initial phase, between 500 and 700 direct jobs, potentially rising to 2,000 in later stages. In a country where unemployment is over 50%, each new job saves a family from absolute poverty. But more important is the transfer of technological know-how. Instead of giving fish, we teach how to fish, said a senior Dongfeng manager. Afghanistan is set to learn car engineering, industrial standards, and supply chain management skills that could lay the foundation for an industrial renaissance after decades cut off from global development. "We want to make Afghanistan the regional automobile hub," the manager declares. But why is China offering Afghanistan such a generous gift? Is this purely business or part of a much larger puzzle? Look at the map. Afghanistan sits at Asia Heart, a crossroads connecting east to west and north to south, a region fought over by Marco Polo, Alexander the Great, and Genghis Khan. For China, one spot on the map is more precious than gold: the Wakhan Corridor, a narrow 46-mile strip that's the only border between China and Afghanistan. This challenging mountain pass gives China direct access to West Asia, bypassing Russia and India. Satellite images show China building roads here, though official Chinese media remains silent. This road is the missing link in the vast Belt and Road Initiative, a $1 trillion plan to revive the ancient Silk Road. So how does a car factory fit into this equation? Right now, 90% of Afghanistan's imports are from China, while exports to China are nearly zero, a lopsided consumer-producer relationship. But the factory could turn Afghanistan into a manufacturing partner, fundamentally reshaping ties. Dongfeng states its aim isn't just Afghanistan's 40 million customers, but launching exports to Pakistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Iran, a market of 300 million consumers. A Chinese diplomat put it this way: "In China long-term strategy, Afghanistan is vital. It's our gateway to West Asia." Even Western observers say Dongfeng is the tip of the iceberg for Chinese investment in Afghanistan. From Beijing perspective, it win-win. But is there a hidden dimension? In 2010, American geologists made a stunning discovery. Afghanistan sits on mineral treasures worth over $1 trillion, huge reserves of copper, iron, gold, and most importantly, lithium. Lithium is a light, silvery metal called white gold, or the oil of the 21st century, because it is essential for making lithium-ion batteries, the power source for phones, laptops, and electric vehicles. Without lithium, clean energy revolution is impossible. A Pentagon official remarked, "Afghanistan could be the Saudi Arabia of lithium," illustrating its strategic significance. Now zoom out. China is the world's top producer of lithium batteries and a leader in electric vehicles, but is challenged by limited lithium supplies. Global demand for lithium is expected to triple by 2030. Whoever controls lithium controls the future of clean energy. This is why a Chinese automaker investing in a country sitting on a lithium ocean is no accident. It's a smart strategy to secure future supply chains. Reports now indicate that China's state mining companies are in talks to extract Afghanistan lithium, deals potentially worth tens of billions. China Foreign Minister in a recent Kabul visit said China is ready to help Afghanistan develop its natural resources, diplomatic words for a strategic aim. So is Dongfeng factory the vanguard for lithium mining? The answer could shape Afghanistan's future. At the launch event, Dongfeng shiny buses drew all eyes. But a key question was left unasked. Were they made in Afghanistan? The answer is complex. In reality, the factory initial phase is strictly assembly. Parts made in China are shipped to Afghanistan and put together there. This pattern China has repeated in other countries. Ethiopia's similar factory, launched by Chinese firm Geely, still imports 90% of parts after 10 years. In Nigeria, only 15% of parts are locally made. Afghan economist Dr. Ahmad Sayedi warns, the risk is we move from car importer to cheap assembly workshop. Our dependency just changes form, from importing whole vehicles to importing components. Analysis shows that in phase 1, only 10 to 15% of added value stays in Afghanistan. The rest goes back to China. Even in the later stages, key parts like engines and gearboxes would still be imported. Another challenge, monopoly. The agreement forbids Afghanistan from working with other car manufacturers, making it essentially an exclusive partner for Dongfeng. A former Afghan industry official reports that Chinese negotiators insisted on exclusivity, even rejecting cooperation with Toyota. This worrying trend raises serious questions about Afghanistan's industrial future. Is it heading for true independence, or to being China's cheap workshop? Industrial dependence breeds political dependence. History has shown this. When a country's economy is deeply tied to a foreign power, that power gains strong leverage. Imagine Afghanistan's future government trying to act independently of China. China could simply cut off parts supply and shut down the automotive sector, just as the Soviet Union did with Cuba in the 1960s. A Western diplomat observes, China wants a new backyard in Central Asia, a place where it sets the rules, free from US or Russian interference. But there's always a hopeful scenario, successful execution of all phases, real technology transfer, development of an Afghan parts industry, training skilled workers, and ultimately, Afghanistan becoming an industrial hub, similar to South Korea's partnership with Japan in the 1970s. Vietnam offers an encouraging case, moving from basic assembly to a real manufacturer, designing its own national car. Masoud Karimi, an Afghan engineer who graduated in Beijing, says, "Success or failure is up to us. We must negotiate wisely, learn the technology, and eventually liberate ourselves." The key point, success depends on faithful implementation and genuine intentions. Is China truly seeking to empower Afghanistan, or simply establishing a new base for its influence? Will Afghanistan reach economic renaissance at the end of this road, or fall into a clever trap? Will China's grand gamble save millions of lives, or confine them in a golden cage? Share your thoughts.